Welcome to the Sober Boozers Club podcast, a place where we can talk openly and honestly about addiction, sobriety, and strangely enough, beer. I'm Ben, I'm an alcoholic, and for the last 2 years I've been sampling some of the finest alcohol-free beers the world has to offer. Each week, I'll be joined by a different guest to discuss their own lived experiences on all things related to the world of low and no alcohol beverages. So pour yourself a tipple, relax, and let me welcome you to the Sober Boozers Club. In today's episode, it's a Mash Gang doubleheader, and that can mean only one thing. In fact, I'm pretty sure it would be illegal for me to have a sobriety and beverage podcast without inviting this man on as a guest. He's a multi-award-winning beverage specialist. He's the CPO and co-founder of Mash Gang. He does have a last name, but if I told you it, I'd have to kill you. It's Jord. Now, this could have been a beautiful story into Jordan's journey into the world of low and no beverages. It's not that. Instead, it's an hour inside Jordan's brain, which I'd say is better, so I hope you enjoy. You've not been very busy, have you, recently? You've had a lot of leisure time.
No, it's been the most relaxing time of my life. I have so much recreation. I'm wealthy and well rested, and I don't need a holiday.
Do you know what? I had to have a chat to myself recently because the amount of times that I'll just message you and be like, hey man, and then I forget that like it's a weekend or it's a bank holiday, and I have to be like, no, come on, calm down, leave them alone. Like I had an order issue that was DPD recently, and they just decided to fucking send the parcel back to you.
No one understands, right, that not DPD don't do this bit, right?
Right.
But that there is no secret menu for dispatch. Like there is no one you can talk to client side that can do any more for you. And I'm so surprised as a customer that that's the truth, you know. But basically, UPS in the States have got to the point now where they're actively rude about it. And it says on their website, there is nothing that we can tell you that isn't shown on the tracking already. And I'm like, wow, okay.
That's wild.
So, you know, we're at that point of late stage capitalism now where it's like, hey, you, fuck you. You can't do anything. Hey, pig. Pay me, then fuck off. You know, it's unreal. Like, service is gone. You know, the days of customer service are gone. Like,
yeah, it was. I was trying to figure out what had happened to it, and it was just like, oh, requested return. I was like, I fucking didn't.
9 times out of 10, if your package is getting returned, it's because someone's damaged it. And what I try and explain is that 12 beers weighs about 7.5 kilos. Right. So it's like just over 7 bags of sugar. And even if you had a metal box that you put it in a carbon fiber box, you know, and you drop it on the corner, like it's breaking. Like it's lucky that we have less than, I think it's 0.3% breakage rate across the whole thing. It's magic. If you think about it, most of the time things get there. The other thing is that a good box. So if you go and look, if you're a real nerd like I am, go and look up whale pods in the States. Okay. And they're a box, and it basically holds a 12 pack in the size of a 24 pack, but it individually holds in foam each can. But the thing is that packaging and all of that costs money. So in a world where everyone would like continually lower prices because the customers never asked for a product to be cheaper, you know, postage and packaging already is looked upon as a con to people. They're like, but other places do free packaging. It's like free postage. It's like they don't. They just put the price.
Yeah, you're just paying for it somewhere else.
Paying for it somewhere else. It's like the DFS sale, you know. I don't believe
never ending
DFS sale, you know. And it's like even those you can still get damages, and you've got at the end of the day, there's some poor dude that has like 6,000 packages in his van, and he has like 3 seconds to deliver every single one of them, and the one that we're sending happens to weigh, you know, quite a lot, and then, you know, of course, they're not going to calmly and nicely put things down in the back of the van. And I have to live in some kind of reality and make peace with it that, things do get mistreated. There's stuff we see in customer services because, the business is growing, but we still have eyes on every day at everything. And the photos you get, one dude that just had, well, these are my DPD top three.
Okay.
Number 3 is where someone had thrown it over the fence, and it had hit itself on the corner on the patio, so it exploded like a bomb. And he had thrown this package around 15 meters over a fence.
Jesus.
So he'd almost landed it next to the sliding patio door. Number 2 is the customer that opened the package, and the package was full of paint, but not paint in tins, as in it was filled to the top with liquid emulsion magnolia paint that had started to set.
What? Okay.
We can only guess that maybe something spilled somewhere and it leaked into it, and they removed the can, and it was our branded box, but just full of paint, which was still got delivered, by the way, leaking paint out of it. Then there was my personal favorite. My personal favorite was someone received 2 cans out of their order, but then ice cream mix from Pan and Ice. And being a Mashgang customer, they just fucking made ice cream out of their beer.
No. That's fucking outrageous.
These are all real things. Also, that the customer themselves is cursed. Things happen to them that are weird the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Less of a customer, more of a friend now, because that kind of thing bonds you glue. And it's that was my favorite. We get some stuff. We obviously get photographs of when the product's delivered. It's like, is this your doorstep? Yes. Is that you standing there? Yes. But I haven't got it. Okay. I mean, unless someone stole it the second you were there, I don't understand. But honestly, we have about the same amount of problems with couriers that we've ever had. It hasn't gone up with the size of the business growing. So objectively, it's got better.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think, do you get people that don't kind of realize that these aren't people that are working for you? And is that
yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was,
I've, things like it's out for delivery at the moment, but I'm out. Can you just phone up the driver and say to deliver it later or to my mum's house? But I get problems with couriers. I work remotely, so I have to send Fierce send me samples every week of stuff that's in tank and that. And the postcode I live in is so vast that if I walked from one end of the postcode to the other, it would take me nearly 3 hours to get there. So there and back could take about 6 hours, right? And a delivery went so far that it was in at the actual edge of the county and was nearer to my mother-in-law's house. So she just went and got it because they just guessed a different address. The postcode was right, but everything else was completely different. So I get courier issues like everyone. And it frustrates me greatly because, I kind of feel like eventually you're just going to get pushed into the Amazonification of everything. It's we just have to put everything through Amazon because at least it just gets delivered. And I'm just as bad for that sort of thing. The other night I bought something relatively benign. It was something it was Szechuan peppercorns for making Szechuan for mapo tofu, right? And I ordered them 10 o'clock and then it got delivered 8 a.m. the next day. I ordered them just before I went to sleep. And then I got woken up by the guy delivering them. And I was like, this is peak capitalism.
Yeah. This is there's no going back when you get to
this point. And I shouldn't dream of a day when someone thinks, I'm going to get some fucking Mashgang beer tonight, orders it and it arrives the next day, in the morning. That's a really sad dream of mine, but that's where I want to be.
Going back to this little narrative with my missing DPD delivery, I emailed customer service because I was like, I'm not going to message any of them because they're fucking relaxing. It's their evening. So I emailed your customer service. And by the next day, I had new beers. So it was very good. And that was around Easter.
Our customer service guys are insane. They take everything personally, and it's like it's really unusual. Normally, customer services is combative, isn't it? What have you done wrong? Right, yeah. And their attitude is like, we sort it out first, and then we sort the customer out first. And one of the core tenements is never make anything your customer's problem to solve. Yeah, apart from their stupid password on the website the other day, I'm like, can you just try this and this and this and this and tell me what works? But usually it's like, don't send the customer off on a side quest to solve your problem. Your job is to get the product to them. They've paid for it. They should get it. And the more companies that see it like that, reverse engineer the solution later, make good, then go backwards and kind of put things back together. And that's kind of how they operate. Sort it out. And in the worst case scenario, right? I don't want to be giving away free beer left, right, and center, but I would rather that I accidentally sent someone too much than deliberately sent them too little and shortchanged them,
Well, especially when your stuff's in fucking such demand. In fact, it's been a very good day for me today because OMP5 have just put out some Do You Like Trains? And I literally
I don't know how they ended up like that's Alex and Raoul on some bullshit, isn't it? Like, yeah, I saw that earlier. I was like, what?
I saw it and I think I put 25 in my basket and then just sat and looked at how much that was going to cost me. God. And then slowly started reducing the number.
Do you know how much it cost me to make that? That was so expensive. It was 3.5 times more than it costs to make a beer normally.
Fuck. That's wild.
It was
this
really
is the kind of shit that people that drink it and are like, oh, do that all the time.
Yeah, like, I normally say I normally say I would if I could, but we worked out that if we sold it to a distributor who sold it to a retailer who sold it to a customer, so if you're looking at like a ABC style thing, so it goes to a distributor, then it goes to a pub, and they sell it, it'll be $15.75 a can with normal margins. And it's like, oh, that's a good beer. And I'm like, bet. Of course it is. It's so expensive to make.
I feel like that's just blown the whole argument of alcohol free should be cheaper.
It should be. Everyone should be doing the job properly. But oh god, there's a handful of beers in my career that have been, and they're some of the most popular. There was Soft Scoop we did with Gypsy Hill that cost something like £10 a litre to produce, and we didn't work it out until it was already done, and we costed it. We're like, well, we're all losing money on this.
Oh man,
but it was a really good beer. I would say Low Lux with Verdant, an absolutely catastrophic loss on that. But did we care? No one cared because it got done. Because it was trying to do the impossible. It was trying to really dig uphill with things like that. And I didn't want to be the person that fucked up a Verdant beer.
Yeah, that would be.
I don't want to go to bed with that. No. It's so circling about the customer service guy. They actually do care. It's not like some AI or some funny, voice.
No.
They really, and also they tend to ring people up. Do you know that? They just ring people up and say
oh, nice.
Yeah, if they have any problems, they just ring people. They're just not shy about it. And I think people, we don't spend any money on marketing, so we better have pretty good customer service.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're relying on word of mouth, and then you're all
it better be a good word.
Yeah, if you're then just absolute bellends to deal with, it's not going to go very far, is it?
We mess stuff up sometimes, but I think people will give you a little bit more patience if you're demonstrably normally pretty good. There's times when I've been short-tempered with people, but it's normally like, look, my guy, I'm replying to you at 9:00 on a Sunday night. I'm obviously trying to fix it. So please just stop being really mean to me. Because
How many messages did you get when that weird email went out? Remember, the email about altering your subscription?
Oh, geez,
how wild was that?
Do you know what? They never came. So context, an app we used to use in Shopify to manage subscriptions that we stopped using because it was shit. We deleted it from the website. It was no longer part of the website. It never had access to anyone's details. It's really just a bridge, from our data to our data. So the messages came from inside the house as well, which made it even worse. And it emailed everyone that had ever had a subscription with us or had placed a pre-order. It emailed them all on. Well, was it a Saturday? It was like a Saturday night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Emailed.
It was Sunday.
It was a Sunday. And it emailed everyone who had ever placed a pre-order or had a subscription with basically like, we're readying your order, but you have this much to pay. We'll take it from the card. And it was stuff we hadn't made in like 2 years. So the percentile of people, there was a percentile of people that were out on Sunday night and drunk that were like, yeah, you fucking take my money, I'll take you to court, I ain't bought nothing, Then there was a percentile of people of like, this is obviously wrong because you haven't made this beer for a year. There was a percentile of people of like, you want to check this out, this looks wrong. And there was a percentile of people that are like, this is clearly hacking scam from Nigerian prince, you can't take my money, I'm calling the police, and I was like, what had happened as well, it was like typical. It was like a weekend where we'd worked 3 weekends in a row, and I gave Alex, Chris, and James time off, and I was having time off. I had sat down, like I'd cooked like one of those Dr. Oetker pizzas, which is like my reward, and I just got Helldivers 2 on Steam Deck and a bottle of like Mountain Dew from the States, and I had it like all lined up, and my phone started going ding 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 ding, and I looked down, I was like, oh.
Oh man. And Dr. Oetker pizzas are the elite freezer pizza.
Yeah, do you know he was a Nazi as well? I just found that out.
No.
Yeah, like, so no, like they actually like they renounced their like, the company, the German company renounced it. Otherwise, I don't think, it's not like they don't do like a Rikeroni or like,
there you were, sat in your Hugo Boss suit with your bottle of Fanta, ready to enjoy.
I don't want people thinking I'm a neo-Nazi. So whilst I tucked into my Dr. Oetker pizza, my Fanta in my Hugo Boss, watching Lenny Riefenstahl's Triumph of the Will, like every sane non-Nazi person, I heard the alarm go off in my Volkswagen Beetle. So I, damn it, I've run out of knowledge about Nazi companies, but
no, that aside, Dr. Oetker's pretty good.
But aside from that, and I think that they actually like I think that they brought it up and dealt with it as well. Like, we uncovered this from my past, sort of thing.
Right. Okay.
But I do love Dr. Oetker pizzas so much.
Yeah, I do. It was actually when it was a staple in my freezer when I was like proper bottom out alcoholic.
Do you know what? And it wasn't for me because it was too expensive. I used to drink so much. I have the 70p ones from Asda, the ones with the holes in them, like a Jacob's cream cracker with a sneeze of cheese on top.
A sneeze of cheese.
Yeah,
you've beat me then.
That was 8p noodles. Like you were unlucky that you missed peak early 2000s alcoholism. You would have loved it. You would have loved it. 2 bottles of wine for $5, love.
No,
you would have loved it. Screw top suave. So you would. There's a lot of times when I think about people who have passed away from that, and I look at like Amy Winehouse and I think she would have loved Lost Mary. She would have loved vapes, wouldn't she? She would have had a song about vapes.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. That's the one thing I'm still clinging on to is just vapes. And I know it's going to probably be worse for me than everything that I've ever done.
Oh, you know what? It was when I was in drug rehabilitation, the people I felt sorry for were not alcoholics and heroin addicts. or crack addicts or people who were like abusing like pain stuff or anything like that. The people I felt sorry for were people who had like gambling and shopping addictions and stuff like that. Like, but what they all had in common is that they were all scared to give up smoking. Like, you know, you're talking to people who had, you know, gone like had been in like smuggling rings and done heinous things in like gang crime and stuff because of addiction, and people who come from terrifying affluence lost millions of pounds at gambling on stuff. Yeah, but everyone was scared about giving up smoking.
I don't think I could have done it at the same time as stopping booze. If I'd have stopped fags at the same time, I think I'd have died. It was just like, ugh.
I mean, you should, you know, I think people are hard on themselves. You probably succeed at it, but not at the cost of everything else.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I was miserable enough.
I got really overweight when I stopped drinking. Like, it's like that. My sweet tooth endures. Like a decade later, my sweet tooth is still bad.
Yeah, mine's still up there. Like, I have to have a Belgian bun every day, otherwise.
Oh,
yeah,
Do you like the outside of the Belgian bun, or do you like the sweet meat in the middle?
See, it's a difficult.
Because I disassemble it, you know.
Okay. I don't like it when it's too dry, so that suggests that I'm more of an innard kind of guy.
I'm actually to this point the same with like pan or raisin. If you get the ones that are like in the co-op or the spot, you know, that serve yourself ones, I always pick the ones that are like not very cooked. Like
I prefer like a medium rare.
I prefer a medium rare pastry as a sign of either bisexuality or active addiction being pushed down. And you could, you know, it's like if someone's autistic, you don't need to send them to a psychiatrist. You just ask if they like trains. And if they don't like trains, you say, do you like planes? And if they don't like that, see how many Pokemon cards or other interests they have. You can skip the whole thing. Everyone in Mash Gang really fucking likes trains, dude. Like really likes trains and planes and any high volume people transport. It says
but most people that have gone through addictions kind of like
trains.
Yeah, they all tend to really like you say, one of the two, trains or planes, or maybe boats.
Yeah, or like there's a lot of like I would say that alcoholism and drug addiction are symptomatic of a. Like, I think for me, a load of it was like self-medicating to fit into the real world, right? And it's like when you get older and when you're kind of I don't like saying sobriety or anything because it's not really true, because everything, like I like say that and then I'll have like a beer or I have like fucking 8 coffees in the day and like glad I'm sober. Me like ripping on a THC, the devil's flash drive, until it's blinking and going, I'm glad I'm sober now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think like let's say that we're just in the better place, you know, and it's like, it's like, and I'm still there clawing around looking for the medium rare fucking pan of raisin, you know, and it's like you're in the better place. And your other interests just, you know, and I think loads of people who have like addictions, like there needs to be counseling about your and I talk to specifically about your good boy spending spiraling out of control. I would have spent this in the pub, so I'm buying myself a new sampler. I buy myself a new guitar because I would have spent that much money down the pub. The thing is, when you're an addict, you have side quests that generate more revenue than your regular job.
Yeah.
And you go without other things. But I have to stop the good boy tax, you know, like I can buy these shoes because at least I'm not on crack anymore.
Such a bloody, like, I feel like I'm being given a life lesson. Because literally today, when you messaged me to ask if I was free today, I was literally in Dunelm looking at like curtain pullbacks, just like, oh, this one's got a monkey on it. I don't need them. But
I bought a BMX today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm coming clean. Although I did I did like tell my wife that I was going to do it.
Okay, well,
I
this
was
is
like,
progress.
so it's like not hiding that spending. It was like it was on sale. That doesn't make it any better. It was money that I shouldn't have spent, but I bought it because I wanted it, and I wanted it for more than 3 days, which is, you know, it exists in your mind. Then it's more than 3 days. It's a tangible item. You're allowed to do it, but it was a good boy tap. But there's no way I would have spent £150 on even drugs and alcohol over a weekend. Maybe.
I was about to just instinctively go, no,
Cocaine.
no, same. And then I was like,
Cocaine.
yeah, get the
Capital One bag.
yeah.
There's a £400 limit on a Capital One card for taking money out of the cash point, because that's as much cocaine as you're allowed to buy every month on a Capital One card.
I was just thinking, like, how many beers in? Like, I think at 3 pints in, I'd be willing to get like a little baggie between a few of us. If you go
six pints in, I'm not sharing.
Yeah.
No fucking chance.
10 pints in, it's on me.
Yeah, 10 pints, it's on me. Yeah, no, for real. I actually got offered drugs for the first time in a long time in the city the other day, and I was like, wow, free drugs, that's bizarre. Like, that's never happened to me. You truly don't know what I'm like, because those free drugs are going to become my drugs really quickly if you let me at those. And I'm like, nah. It's wild being able to just go like, nah.
Yeah.
And think, fuck, what personal growth. Only took a decade for personal growth. Damn. I thought it'd be better. I thought like it would be quicker than this.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I do know how I'd say no, but I don't know how strong that voice would be now.
It's pretty loud. Like, it's really easy. Yeah. Like, honestly, like, it's like as easy as you, something that someone taught me, like, is not like you never like rationalize things. And it's like, I'm not allowed to, you can't say, sorry, I can't do that because I'm not allowed to. I don't let myself, I'm blah, blah. If you're like, I don't do that anymore, man. I'm like retired.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, come on. It's like, nah, man, you knock yourself out. Twice as much for you. Go on, go ahead. Go and do it now. If you want to do anything, like, why don't you buy me a pizza? Dr. Ocker, mozzarella, Dr. Ocker, plain.
That's plain.
You do have a Hugo Boss suit and some
subtle hints to get people to go away.
Yeah.
So what are you into? Volkswagen, Fanta, Dr.
Ocker, marching music, Lenny Riefenstahl's Triumph of the Will.
Marching music.
Marching music. But what are you doing this weekend? Burning books. Like, what books? Probably best not to go into that. A lot of books.
Lots of books.
And getting people to go away in bars. Mackenzie maneuver, easy. Yeah, you just, like, when everyone's really drunk, you just say, I'm going to go to the bar, going to go and get shots and get you guys a bag in, yeah? And then you go up to the bar, when everyone's not looking, you go. Then the next day you ask them for 50 quid for the Coke you bought for them. And they say, what? And go, don't you remember I got you that round of shots and you're paying for breakfast?
That's brilliant.
Because I bought the shots and then, well, I'll let you off that 50 quid. What 50 quid? Oh, fucking hell, man. You got to get yourself together. You're a real state.
These are the unexpected joys of being sober.
Yeah.
Just being able to gaslight your friends into doing shit for you.
Yeah, gaslight. You see, everyone talks about the positives of sobriety. They don't talk about what it's like when you're a real piece of shit. And you could weaponize it to be so narcissistic and spy on your friends. And
my main reason for sobriety was just to defeat my enemies and to live longer than them.
My biggest enemy was drugs, Jordan. Like, I had to defeat him. He was so powerful. Also, I had to retire from it. Mm-hmm. I worked at a professional level for almost 20 years. So, you gotta let it go. You gotta know when to quit the game.
Quit while you're on top.
Quit while you're on top. I stopped doing drugs because there was none left. I'd done all of them, and basically got a letter from the president of Bolivia that said, Mr. Jordan, I'm afraid there is no more cocaine left. You have done all of the cocaine, and the harvest has not been very good. So there's a short service. Thank you for your service. It sent me
a Hugo Boss suit.
It's a Hugo Boss suit with several medals on it. And don't ask why loads of Argentinians speak German. I am not doing a podcast without ruining it for you.
Yeah,
You know,
I love that this has
you
become
ruined
just a.
mine. I'm ruining yours.
Yeah, we're even now.
We're even now.
This is just a payoff.
No one's going to listen to a podcast that's just everyone being nice to each other. It's ridiculous. No one likes that.
No.
Jamie,
No,
pull up that video of the ape pulling someone's head off and ask me something else, please, before do you know, I tell you what, I have the most colossal urge for Fanta. I wish you hadn't said Fanta. Like everyone goes on about Pellegrino being like Tory Fanta. It'd be really good, better version of Fanta. But do you know what the best version of Fanta is? The one we're not allowed in the UK, the really orange one. Have you seen it?
Yeah. I had some in New York.
Oh yeah. So there's two types of Fanta you get in Eastern Europe as well. It's like super orange Fanta. It's like really, and then there's Shokta, which the label's upside down. It's luminous blue and tastes of elderflower.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
I would not put those two things together.
No, it was. I will find a picture of it later and send it over. And it will. If I pronounced it wrong, everyone in Eastern Europe, I'm really sorry, but I am coming in to bat for you guys. You got that right. Also, Eastern European drinks I like PP and Cockta because one's PP and one's cock.
That sounds like a fantastic acoustic duo.
PP and Cockta. Yeah,
PP
they're like,
and Cockta.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? No. Yeah, PP is like orange. It's like Pellegrino actually. It's like a nice orange drink. And Cockta is like Eastern European Coke, but it's kind of like, don't do that face when I say Eastern European Coke.
No, nothing. Never have I dabbled.
So and it's kind of like a herbal. It tastes a cross between Angostura bitters and an off-brand Happy Shopper Coca-Cola. So as you can imagine, it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's my kind of beverage.
It's really good. Yeah, it actually. I think that if alcohol-free beer didn't exist and alcohol-free, I think that particular beverage would be something I would drink.
That would be the drink of.
That would be the drink.
The drink of alcoholics.
Yeah, the drink of alcoholics. That would be. Yeah, it would. It would be. I think.
When you started, when you got into the kind of the beer industry, was there any level of like anxiety in your brain for being around beer all the time? Could be super fucking triggering.
Yeah, it's like Fenneman used to call it when they were like doing the work on the atomic bomb. It's like tickling the dragon's tail because it's kind of adjacent to it, and it's like I'm at the I don't want to endanger myself too much, and sometimes I do. I'm pretty honest with it. I do think it's like sail too close to the sun, like in that kind of thing. I guess I'm lucky that alcoholism isn't my problem. I'm a drug addict, so it's as long as I stay away from that. It's the thing is, alcohol is like a cascade. If you end up getting really fucked up, that's when you want to do drugs because it takes away the inhibition of stuff like and I would say some people, my mum specifically hasn't, but some people age out of their addictions, in my opinion. Like if you have a lot going on, and you have a kind of a naive addiction, like I have a big city addiction. Like I'm not saying you couldn't find drugs in the country. That's ridiculous. But I have a lot to lose. I've got like a great business, a wife, kid, they rely on me. So there's a lot to lose. Mm-hmm. When I was in active addiction, I had nothing to lose. So it was like, I could be an absolute fucking gargantuan train wreck of a person. And it only affected my shitty friendship with shitty people and my shitty life and myself. And I just lose jobs and things like that. It didn't matter. But now, I don't think, well, it's dangerous talk to say, I don't think that would happen now. But I wouldn't let that happen now.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
You know it in yourself, don't you? Like that you kind of...
I've turned my eye of Sauron to another obsession. Running a business takes up all of your time, and it's obsessive, and you never put it down. You drive people insane about it, and it's that kind of thing. But the other thing is addiction was like paving over a lot of cracks in my body. Like loads of accrued injuries mean that I was in pain quite a lot of the time, and they never were properly rehabilitated. So it's like doing drugs and drinking alcohol is like doled down those like pains, you know, like, and then like other like more psychological pains and stuff. You say you're anxious, like anxiety, like alcohol is really good for paving over anxiety. You know, in fact,
I've never been more anxious as when I stopped drinking.
I think I think a lot of people as well, like you I don't know if you flip, but I would flip. Like I would be super anxious, then I get drunk or do drugs, and I'd be like, then I'd be so confident and annoying, and I would say things to annoy people. Like I'd be rude to them and stuff like that. And I think that's that flip. It's just it's almost like the polar opposite. You have two people that are both insufferable. One of them so shy and so anxious that they're annoying, and one of them so overbearing and stupid. I was just such a rotten person in addiction, just so scared and so afraid that I had to put on this big suit of armor. But the suit of armor is like come at a cost of it was just shaped like a colossal dickhead. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I think when I stopped drinking, that was the only time that I kind of had the clarity to then deal with all of the shit that was making me a real anxious, like insufferable person.
I papered over the cracks to a degree, but then there's other, like, I'm so, like, a decade on, like, rehabilitation takes a really long time to get in your head, like, and you can do like CBT and stuff like that, and you can go to therapy, and it works for some people. But me, it just like, it started with ownership, and the next stage was going back and trying to repair some of the damage. And the problem is the people that you try and repair the damage of has heard it all before, and they're like, yeah, you've said sorry before, you've done this. Some people, it's like they don't even want to be approached by you, like going back to an ex-partner and saying like, I treated you really bad. They're like, do not contact me again. It's like, understood, have a nice day. You know, like one of them said, what are you trying to do? And I said, I'm trying to apologize. Why? Because I want you to feel better about, and they went, no, you want you to feel better. Do you know what? You don't get to know how I feel about this, right? You don't deserve to. You will never get to know whether I accept your apology. And I went, I totally and utterly understand. I didn't take it on board for 5 or 6 years. And I was like, yeah, do you know what I was doing? I was going around ticking off the boxes of, yeah, I'm sorry. Go on, say it's okay now.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, but I said I was sorry, so now you have to. It's like, no, I can say I accept your apology, and nothing else. Wow, okay, this is really unfulfilling, so I'm stopping doing that.
I felt really slighted by a few people that didn't want to talk to me afterwards, and it was like, how dare you? I haven't had a drink for a month.
Yeah, where's my fucking parade? And
all should be forgiven.
And then you come back and you're like, and a few years later, you're like, no, absolutely understandable. Yep. I don't get anything. This isn't how it is. Some things are never repairable. Some things are. Some things you don't want to repair them anyway, and it wasn't worth it. And it's all a big tangle of spaghetti, really. And people are very complicated, very fractured human beings, and it's best to just do the best you can in the situation.
I agree. So we've got a very limited period of time left. So I didn't want to get into the whole mash gang what mate, because people can listen to other podcasts for that. And, we all know about the pineapple beer, and we all know.
We've all heard the same thing, and it's like it must be true because I've said it exactly the same each time. My dad's James Watts from Brewdog, and he said that I should do it. Okay, for clarity, that isn't true. I just made that up. Okay.
I was going to say, I thought you were owned by them.
Dude, that happens. I still get it today.
Still
get it today. And I think it's fairly clear that if we were owned by a much bigger company, we'd be far more profitable. We'd be far more successful.
Company's house.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
What's exciting you at the moment, beer wise?
Ooh. The great thing is the beer industry always moves forward.
Mhm.
And I should say, like, I actually like the beer industry, the full alc industry is finally taking, notice of the AF. I don't give a shit. Like, I just don't give a shit about that. Like, it's like we're here regardless. There's a load of people like doing good stuff. And like, I've been talking to We Can Be Friends about doing this fucking stupid project. Like,
Okay.
it's like clearly got to be done at some point, I'm just waiting for them to get off holiday, and I've got a really dumb idea. So
That's really, that kind of brings together 3 episodes that I've done.
I did that
I'm not saying
deliberately.
I was going to say, I'm glad that you got my email earlier. But so we had. I
Did he
spoke
say
to
nice
Sam.
things? Did he say nice things about me?
Well, I was talking to Sam, and Sam was saying that he really wants to do a collab, and he mentioned Mash Gang multiple times. And
Alex told
then
me, so I
love that Alex calls from "Can we be friends?" It's like, when you say something wrong
I do it
once,
too. I do it too now because he's got it in my head.
but it's when you say something
Can we
wrong
be
once, and then you're
friends?
thinking, right, it's not,
We
it's the
can.
other thing, it's the other thing, it's the other thing, and
He
then
and
inevitably,
I think that he does it to me deliberately because he knows he can get it to stick, and then
Mhm.
I will say it to someone, and he'll like. What's worse is that even in my head, looking at the label, I could still say it wrong because he's drilled it into me incorrectly, deliberately. Because they talk quite a lot. Like Sam and Alex talk quite a lot.
Hmm. But so I was speaking to Sam about him wanting to do collabs, and then in another episode, I was talking to Rob from Below Brew, formerly Low Tide, and we are on about collabs, and he said he can't think of any alcohol-free collabs. It's all been full alc and
I've
alcohol-free.
never done an alcohol-free collab. I don't think with
Um,
someone.
and I mentioned that Sam had said that he wanted to do one with someone, and now here you are.
Oh
So
no, it's too late now. Now he's going to do one with Below before me.
no, well, I wanted Below to do a Love Honey collab. That was
Oh
my
God, you started on that, did you?
yeah. Well, it just makes sense, doesn't it?
The Yeah, I had it like an idea, and I didn't know. Like, I didn't know I wanted to do something. And then Alex brought it up, and I was like, oh, I'll just send him a text and just say, like, I asked, what I normally do say, here's 3 things,
Hmm.
right? But I've got 3 things. You give me 3 things, and I'll tell you if any of them line up. And 2 of them did. And one
Ooh,
of them I said, save for later, because I've got something else for that you will want, right?
okay.
There was something else, but I was like, I am doing that with someone else, like at the moment, so let's not do that. And then when I told him who I was doing it with, he's like, oh no, that makes sense, yeah, do that. One of them I was like, we can do, but we can't do it now because we need access to something to do it, and we can't.
Okay.
And then the other thing lined up, and he's like, that the one that lines up is the one I want to do anyway. It doesn't sound as exciting. I was like, wait up, because it will. So next week we'll go and work on that, take it away, and you should see something from us together in the next couple of months. It's going to take a while to do it, but we'll do that. What's exciting me at the moment? I'm just trying to think of really good things that I've like really good things that I've had recently. Because there's
Cool.
been, it sucks because I've been in the States loads,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there's
yeah.
like a lot of the stuff that I've been having there.
I feel like over the last, like in terms of your beers, and I don't know if this is just in my head or it's rose tinted glasses, but it feels like over the last like 6 months maybe, like the quality has gone from like fucking good to fucking like
Yeah, I try. I continually strive to want to do better with things, but there has been stuff relatively recently where I'm like, oh, this is,
yeah, it's been like
this
banger after banger.
when it's like, oh, this is this, I'm picking holes in like there are things that I want to be better all the time, but there's like finally things that are like actually how I want them. Colt is like how I want it. I don't
Yeah.
want to change it. The only Siege Perilous I just wish was clearer, and we really worked on it, and we held it for longer in tank, And it's just sometimes without putting them through like sterile or fine filtration, it's hard to get things really, really bright. So we have to wait until it drops. Otherwise, you start stripping out loads of the flavor, and it's like quite a pronounced flavor. And we had it exactly where we wanted. So we held off. Like me and Fierce were sending back bottles of like just looked like piss sample competition, like just bottles of it going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, but we just couldn't get it fully clear. And that's the only thing I have. Like I wish that some of our lagers were a bit brighter, and it's something that we've worked on. But if it comes at the cost of removing it, like Polt's how I wanted it. Do You Like Trains is how I wanted it. Spiritual Industrial Complex is how I wanted it. Now like I would say the Siren collab we did, the Nitro one, was like 75% of the way there, which is way further than I usually get with things that I like. Do you like it?
Oh man, it changed my
You don't think
whole
it's sweet?
opinion.
It's not sweet.
No, I think it's perfect. And I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Rain in Blood. Like I'm not really a
way
stout
too
lover.
Rain in Blood's way too sweet for you, right?
Yeah. Like okay. I fucking hate porters.
Okay,
like
okay.
hate them.
Fair enough. Fair.
And
like
stout, like even Guinness when that came out, it was like
it's very sweet.
This is fine, but and every stout I've had, I've been like, okay, but it's just not my thing. That Siren one, I ordered more after I had it because I was like, fuck, this is like, oh.
You can't see it because it's a video, but it says the Arambura wood that we use in it. So it's like that's drilled from the cask, and it's it doesn't smell like anything else. Like it smells like it smells. It's like trying to describe. So what I'm trying to work on at the moment is vegan stouts, like no lactose in stouts. One of the problems is one of the ingredients that we used to use for vegan stouts, like Anxiety Saint, Rain in Blood, Help Wanted Night, so all like vegan. But one of the ingredients that we used, I think it was something that was very rarely used in stuff. Like it's not a brewing ingredient. And I think we were buying a very large amount of it, and it's not a popular ingredient. So I think we used all of it. And then the only way we could get more of it was importing it directly from the producer in Germany. And they wanted to sell us like tens of tons of it, and it's like we don't have our own brewery. I can't rock up to Fierce and be like, yeah, so I've got 10 tons of powder that must be kept dry and at the right temperature, or it goes off and it's really expensive. So we've managed to secure some more, but not very much. So we're going to do a couple of stouts like soon. Yeah, as soon as the weather warms up, which no one wants.
I've got Cinnabon in. Is it Cinnabon?
Yes.
In my fridge at the moment that I haven't tried. Because I feel like I've been super busy.
I hope you really like cinnamon. It's really cinnamon. I did it to my taste. Some people are like, it's too much. It's like Fireball whiskey cinnamon, like
I like Fireball whiskey and
Aftershock, which I both love. So I'm sitting there like, yeah, and it's 50-50. People are like, I don't like cinnamon, so I don't like this, and it's like, wow. But kind of the foil to that is, if you didn't like cinnamon, you might still like a cinnamon bun or like a chai latte.
Yeah.
But this is really like, it's like Fireball whiskey or something.
Well, it's like
I'm like Cinnabon.
It's like the ITPA. Like I poured that up first time, and I don't like iced tea. I fucking hate iced tea. And I poured it up, and then I went and did the washing up or something, and it wasn't warm enough. It wasn't cool enough, I should say. It wasn't cool enough when I drank it, and I was like, oh no, not for me.
Oh, it's considering it's a pale ale, it needs to be really cold to drink.
Yeah.
Because it's also an iced tea.
I had I got a 4-pack of them. Why did I get a 4-pack of them when I don't like iced tea? That was fucking stupid. But I did it, and then the following night I had another one out the fridge, drank it straight away, and I was like,
oh wait, no, it's good. Yeah.
And then I went and poured up another one instantly. It was just like,
I dream about exporting the US beers to the UK and the UK beers to the US. I'd like to do that so that people could have that. Also, they're 16-ounce cans, so they're actually an American pint. So it's like slightly bigger. It's really bizarre. They look the same size, but when you see them in the real, they're like.
There's one beer within the Mash Gang family that isn't in the UK that infuriates me.
What is that?
Because I can't remember. It's an Australian one, Can't remember the name of it, but it's so like pale. What's it called? That's gonna do my head in.
Is it is it a relatively recent one?
Yes.
Are you looking for that?
Literally. I've just got the...
Okay, I will send you this.
Oh, you're a fucking legend. That's it. That's why I got you on.
That's the last ever one.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now what do I do? Do I drink it? Do I not?
You have to.
Fuck.
Yeah, you have to drink it. It's great. It doesn't taste like anything else, ever.
I saw it and I was just like, fuck, man, these guys need to become a household name so we can just have these beers across the world.
It's shocking, this one. It's when you have these new world hops, they're very, very different from what you're like. A load of the beers in the UK that we have are all US hops, and they're great, and you can do amazing things with them. But the new stuff out of the Southern Hemisphere is so different to what we're used to that it's finally something exciting in beer. What Trent's doing over in Oz, just amazing. Don't tell him that. Don't tell him I said that.
Oh, I never would.
No, I love him. So yeah, this particular one. Yeah, I will send those. That was my dog asking for a walk because it's 5 o'clock.
Like an alcoholic waiting for a... What was it? There's a saying about being by a water cooler or so. I can't fucking remember, but we don't have time for me to remember. So
I'm gonna. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll package it up and send it to you. So I sent out some to people for fun, and I thought I'd sent them all out, but I literally, my father-in-law pulled it out of the fridge the other day and went, "Oh, who's this?" I went, "No, that's the last one, I think." So, and I was gonna drink it myself, but actually, no, I'm gonna give it to you.
Well, what a fucking honor. So thank you for the beer, and thank you for coming to chat shit with me.
I love chatting shit with you.
It's been a beautiful contrast.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. And I talk to you every week anyway, so I'll catch up with you soon.
I've missed you. I've been so busy.
I it's really there you are, Peter from Hook. Because I look tired but it's worth it. It will all come right by the summer. I will not resent doing all of the work.
Good. Yeah, good, because it's good work.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I'm not very good with praise. For an only child, that's unreal.
That should be your whole kink, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should be.
Well, you're a very good boy.
I am a very good boy. Thank you. Actually, can I have that in writing? Take care, Ben. It's always a pleasure, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Sober Boozers Club podcast with Jord, or as my girlfriend calls him, Mr. Mashgang. Now, if you want to catch up with Jord more, you can head over to Mashgang's socials. He's kind of the main guy you're going to see over there, and he's also the man who brings you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of amazing beverages every year, every month, every week. For more information on Mashgang, head over to their website, check out some of the beers they've got going at the moment. You won't be disappointed. For now, my name's Ben Gibbs, and I'll catch you very, very soon.